The NASCAR Cup Series Championship race has officially concluded from Phoenix Raceway, and Kyle Larson has picked up a second NASCAR Cup Series championship, and Ryan Blaney picks up his fourth win of 2025. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Cup Series Championship race from Phoenix Raceway. We got quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. Before talking about the champion, I don't want to gloss over the driver who picked up the win today, and that, of course, is Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney picks up his fourth win of 2025, a big win for Blaney. I believe that's Blaney's 16th career NASCAR Cup Series winner, 17th career NASCAR Cup Series victory. Ryan Blaney did have a very fast car throughout the day, had one of the strongest cars in the field. Had Ryan Blaney gotten the championship that 12 car would have been a major factor like he's been the last couple of years. Blaney will be looking to bring a lot of momentum into 2026. Congratulations to Ryan Blaney on picking up the win, a well-earned and well-deserved victory. But now, let's begin by talking about the driver who picked up the championship, and that, of course, is Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson tonight did not have the fastest car on the racetrack. Larson was probably maybe the third and sometimes the fourth fastest of the championship 4 cars. His car was pretty decent on the short run, but it seemed like on the long run, that 5 car really wasn't good. And they had a flat tire in the middle of the race because tires became a major factor in this event. And I did say this in this, basically my starting grid video, there was a really good chance and possibility that tires were going to be a major issue, a major factor in the race tonight. Well, they had a flat tire, and I thought Larson was going to be done because Larson was outside of being on the lead lap. Well, Larson, I think, took the waiver on and got back on the lead lap later and put himself back in position, and he started taking some gambles. On a caution with around 40 laps to go, while Denny Hamlin and William Byron decided to take 4 tires, Kyle Larson and Chase Briscoe started gambling, and they would take 2 tires, I believe, get in front of William Byron and Denny Hamlin, and Larson would actually be out, staying in a really good position. It seemed like they got that car a little bit better, and they weren't falling back to the field as they would be in around 4th or 5th position at that point. Larson would end up being around 4th or 5th position, and then a caution would come out for his teammate William Byron, that being Kyle Larson's teammate William Byron, would end up having a flat tire and would get in the outside wall with 3 laps to go while Denny Hamlin was easily cruising to a championship. The caution would come out. So you're thinking at this point, do you take 2 tires or do you take 4? Well, Denny Hamlin, who was leading at the time, he would actually end up taking 4 tires, while Kyle Larson and Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson would make the gamble and would take 2 tires. And I'm thinking at this point for Denny Hamlin, why don't you take 4 tires on the final pit stop? Because if you take 4 tires, you're very likely going to go out there and take 2 tires. You're likely going to get up there and challenge. But on the ensuing restart, a couple other guys stayed out. It was Brad Keselowski, I believe Ryan Preece, if I'm not mistaken, and a couple other guys like Alex Bowman would decide to stay out. Kyle Larson got a really big charge on the outside, charged his way up to the front, got through the traffic. Denny Hamlin would try everything he could to get back up there, and he would do everything he could, but could not get there. And coming off the corner in a really good finish, Ryan Blaney's able to come off the corner and pick up his 4th win of the 2025 season, and Kyle Larson's able to come off the corner and win his 2nd NASCAR Cup Series championship. Right now, I'm feeling a little bit conflicted. I think many of you know I'm a major Kyle Larson fan, and I wanted Kyle Larson to win the championship. As a matter of fact, I think I picked Larson to win the championship coming this weekend because I thought this 5 team is going to have a lot of speed. But let's be real and honest, Kyle Larson definitely did get a little lucky tonight. If not for a tire lottery, Larson probably isn't in the position to win the championship tonight, but they got lucky, and Larson and his team did what he had to do. If Denny Hamlin takes 2 tires, he wins the championship. His team definitely made a mistake right there, and they didn't execute at the end of the race. And for people talking about the championship format, among other things, Larson is a deserving champion. In fact, if you take a look at the racing reference standings, because of Byron's issues and problems, I do believe Kyle Larson would end up being the champion under the full season format. Not the Winston Cup format they have on Twitter, but I believe under the full season format that Racing Reference has, which has the stage points and all that stuff, Larson would be the champion. So Kyle Larson is definitely a deserving champion. And all 4 drivers would have been respectful champions this year. There wasn't a driver that stood out this season. Kyle Larson had a year of adversity, but bounced back, led a ton of laps, didn't lead any laps in the race. It was the only car of the championship 4 that I don't believe really led any laps in this race, but they executed at the end. Congratulations, Kyle Larson, on getting it done and picking up the win, and not the win of the race, but winning the championship by finishing in third. Congrats to Kyle Larson on winning the championship, picking up a second Cup Series title, becoming, I believe, only the 18th driver to have 2 championships in Cup. I think a lot of people are going to be conflicted. I am definitely happy Larson won the title, but I'm very conflicted about how the outcome of the race happened, and it sucks that we have to determine a champion like this. I'll probably talk about that in just a minute. Let's go to the second guy in the championship, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin and his team did everything right tonight. Denny Hamlin had the fastest car in this race, led over 200 laps in this event, and was easily cruising to a championship. And then William Byron had his flat tire, and the caution came out. Denny Hamlin and this 11 team had done everything they needed to do. I think a lot of people, especially go on X, were really hoping that Denny Hamlin would be the champion. And I wanted Denny Hamlin to win this championship this year. It would have been an amazing storyline. We don't know how many more years Denny Hamlin's going to have a chance and opportunity to win the championship. And then Denny Hamlin, unfortunately, some bad luck. Hurt, not really bad luck, but the team unfortunately took 4 tires. Again, that is on the 11 team. Because unlike the Truck Series, where the tires basically do matter a little bit more, the tires didn't matter as much. Hamlin's team would end up taking 4 tires, and like I said, that unfortunately cost Hamlin a shot and opportunity at the championship. But I feel for Denny Hamlin, because like I said, Hamlin was in a position to win. It would have been an amazing storyline for the sport, but unfortunately, because of a caution coming out, it would cost him a shot and opportunity to get it done. Again, I hate that for Denny Hamlin. I really feel for Denny. I really wanted him to win. And I think a lot of fans tonight are feeling a little bit disgusted that Hamlin didn't get the chance and opportunity to get it done, but Hamlin does end up finishing in 6th. So a solid day for Denny Hamlin, but this could be the last time Hamlin has a shot. I hate it for Denny Hamlin. Talking about some of the other championship contenders here, I believe Chase Briscoe finished around in the middle of the pack at that point. Chase Briscoe did have a decent run tonight, all things considered. He actually had a great comeback and was bouncing back up there to get himself I think he finished 18th. Chase Briscoe had multiple issues, tire issues throughout the night that cost him a shot and opportunity at getting a championship tonight. He does finish in 18th place. Tough break for Briscoe to not get the finish I think he deserved, but I think a lot of the night he was the weakest of the championship cars, but that team was battling back. And then the other championship contender, William Byron. He finishes in 33rd place, 2 laps down. Tough break for William Byron. Byron was in position to have a shot at the championship. He has a flat tire at the end. Byron was the only other car that could keep up most of the night with Denny Hamlin. He had a really, really good car. Byron showed some really good speed, was really good on the long run, but unfortunately, William Byron has a flat tire and issues, and it cost him a shot at the championship. So now let's also talk about some of the top finishers before we go. So Brad Keselowski finishes second. Brad Keselowski does affect the outcome of the championship a little bit by staying out. I feel like that you probably shouldn't stay out to affect the championship, but unless he does get a second place finish, good run for Brad Keselowski. Joe Logano gets top 5 and 4th. Really good night for Logano. One of the best runs Logano's had all year. Imagine if Logano had made the championship 4. Had a really good night tonight. He finishes 4th. Great run for Joey Logano. Kyle Busch finished 5th. Kyle Busch had multiple flat tires in this race and recovers to finish inside the top 5 in 5th place. Really solid night for Kyle Busch. Josh Berry finished 7th. Berry was a top 10 car all day. Had a really fast car throughout this event, was showing top 5 and top 10 pace. Gets a really strong top 10 run. Good run for Josh Berry. Michael McDowell finished 8th. A great recovery. I think he gambled near the end, and I think he took 2 tires also to get up there. He does get a top 10 in 8th. Ryan Preece finished 9th. A really solid ending to the season for Ryan Preece. Showed some really good pace and speed. Had a fast car throughout the day and moved slowly toward the front. Gets a top 10. Played a gamble too. He finished 9th. Chase Elliott finished 10th. Chase Elliott had a really good car. He got a speeding penalty in the middle of the race, unfortunately, that cost him a shot and an opportunity to go for the victory today, but he does get a top 10. Not a bad way to end the season. Christopher Bell finished 11th. I thought Bell was going to be a bigger factor than he was. I think Bell was maybe about a 5th place car best. He just never had the race winning speed that he normally has at Phoenix when we come here. Not the best run for him, but he does get a top 15. Chris Buescher finished 12th. Not a bad run for him. Ross Chastain finished 13th. Ross Chastain was really good throughout the day. He had a top 10 car majority of this event. One of the better runs we've seen from Trackhouse Racing, but I think they took 4 tires and lost a ton of track position that cost him a shot at the championship. He finishes 13th. Justin Haley in his final race for Spire Motorsports finishes in 14th. Alex Bowman, who comes back from a flat tire, finishes 15th. Not a bad run for him. Eric Jones finishes in 16th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finishes in 17th. 19th place finisher Daniel Suarez in his final race with Trackhouse Racing was really good early, but faded as the day progressed and went on. He finished 19th. Austin Dillon finished 20th. Ty Gibbs finished 21st. Todd Gillen finished 22nd. Riley Hurts finished 23rd. Shane Van Gisbergen gets a top 25. SVG had multiple issues throughout the day in his final race as a full-time rookie this year. He will win the Rookie of the Year honors for this season, but he does finish in 24th. Cole Custer finished 25th. Tyler Reddick, who struggled a lot today, finished in 26th. Noah Gragson finished 27th. Carson Hocevar finished 28th after having a great run throughout the day, but unfortunately had a flat tire. We'll talk about the tire issues here in just a minute. Zane Smith finished 29th. Cody Ware finished 30th. John Hernimacek finished 31st. J.J. Yilley finished 32nd. William Byron, like I mentioned, finished 33rd. Austin Cindric had a really good car early in this race and was a top 5 car. He unfortunately had an issue near the end. He finished 34th. Ty Dillon finished 35th. Casey Mears finished 36th. Bubba also had electrical issues and engine issues, finished 37th. And finishing last in 38th is AJ Allmendinger, who crashed in this race. So now, let's talk about the race as a whole and give my thoughts. I'm going to have some big criticism of this championship race. I think it's very clear at this point. Now, I think regardless of who would have won the championship tonight for at least the Cup side, whether it was Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, or William Byron, I think one of those guys would have been deserving. But my biggest issue I have with today's race, and this is the biggest problem I have with this format from the get-go, we can't do the one-race championship anymore, regardless if a driver is deserving of a championship run or not. Tonight, we had a lot of tire issues, and I got to give Goodyear credit for trying to bring a tire that could potentially wear a little bit, but I think especially for a championship race, and this being the final race of the year, and I understand people would be like, well, they'll probably bring bricks, and it's like, well, I don't know what you do in that situation, and the teams are somewhat at fault for the air pressures on here. This kind of felt like that 2001 race they had back here in 2001. But I feel like that you can't have outside factors contribute to the championship. And I think this is why this playoff format is likely going away. I was very outraged last night because the most deserving guy didn't get the championship. I really don't think that anyone was dominant this season. So regardless who won the championship, I think it would have been fair today. And I don't think people should be mad at any of the drivers regardless who won the championship. And I think same thing goes for Jesse Love last night. There was a lot of people going after Jesse Love last night, and I don't think that was fair. But I think it's very clear at this point that the one-race championship, it can't continue anymore. It has to end, and it needs to end quickly. But I don't think anybody should go after Kyle Larson, and I think Kyle Larson is a deserving champion this year. Congrats to Kyle Larson on winning his second championship. But I said it last night, I'll say it again. One-race championship needs to go. Playoffs need to go all together. I'm for the full season standings. Let's go to the full season standings next year, please. I'd really love for that, but I don't know if that's what the plans are, but at least we're going away from the one-race championship. And I think a lot of fans tonight are not happy because tire issues and all that. There's too many factors to factor in these championships, and a lot of people are going to be mad because of that, and I think it's completely understandable. And if you're not happy about Larson winning the championship, can't blame you. If you're a Hamlin fan, I feel terrible for the Hamlin fans because Hamlin was in position, did everything right, and unfortunately because of an outside factor, he loses the championship. Tough for Hamlin to lose that way. So that is going to be 4 reactions to the championship race at Phoenix. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go to below that and comment your thoughts below on today's race. Your thoughts on today's race, let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And congratulate Kyle Larson on winning the championship and Ryan Blaney winning the race. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We're not going to do a Shane Van Gisbergen video today, but I might do a video on his whole entire season later this week. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have a NASCAR news video discussing over the course of the last couple of days. We got some silly season stuff to go over and some stuff that's been kind of coming out over the last couple of days. Talk more about maybe the championship format a little bit. Talk about people like Eric Almirola, Frankie Muniz, Parker Retzlaff, Corey Heim, Caden Honeycutt. We'll talk about all those drivers in that. Then on Tuesday, we're going to have a full-on silly season update recapping everything, and then we're going to start talking about every single race. And I think later this week should be the first 2025 recap video dropping on the channel. Expect some videos on other people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Ballas, Ross Chastain, Sheldon Creed, Sam Merritt, Frankie Muniz, Cletus Farm, Dodge Ram, Will Brown, Brian Finney, Cam Waters as well. So anyways, like I said, I don't think I was watching today's episode. I'll see you guys next time for more great awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, buddy.